Welcome to Reread. We're on book one of the Fate of the Jedi series. This is from Aaron Alston. It's called Outcast. I remember this one, how it starts off. Valen Horn, the son of Corran Horn, is watching his mom make Carillion breakfast. And then suddenly he realizes, that's not my mom. And then, of course, when Corran Hunt comes in, that's not my dad. They're all fake. And he kind of goes crazy for a moment. Now, the first time I read this, I thought, oh, no, because you kind of believe Valen because it's from his point of view. But after a while, you realize, oh, no, he was the crazy one. Now, this time it didn't fool me because I remember this part, very detailed description of it, because after this happens, it goes to Luke, who's going to a unification conference. And, of course, Dala has that arrest warrant out. Luke knows it, but he didn't think she's going to arrest him right then and there. And she does. It's kind of a public stunt. Luke understands. The Jedi get a little testy because, Luke's done nothing wrong, but they're trying to arrest him because they said, you know what? You're responsible for Jacen Solo and how he fell to the dark side. You should have seen the, hints a long time ago, which is debatable. He probably should have. And you let this go on too far. And that's what you're being brought up on crimes with. Now, Navarro Wynn from the X-Wing series, of course, Alston is familiar with this character. I believe he created him. He is the legal representation for Luke. And it's really fun to see Rim back in there. I think that's a good matchup and good idea for Aaron Alston to bring a character back. But Luke goes to Dala and just tries to kind of reason with her and then realizes, wait a minute, we can make a plea deal here. And so the plea deal is that Luke realizes the Jedi, younger Jedi think that they're above the law. And Luke goes, well, we're not technically above the law. We just follow the Force. But maybe that message is getting muddled through the years. So he decides, you know what? It's time for the Jedi to take one on the chin. So yes, I will be convicted. I will agree to a 10-year exile from the planet Coruscant, where I step down from as a Jedi Master, may have no contact with anyone from any Jedi Academy or any other Jedi Master for 10 years. In fact, I can even go and make my own Jedi Academy. I must be in exile for those 10 years. Now, he could get a lot of that waived for good behavior, over the years. And that term could be rescinded over the years. And that's maybe what Dala's going to do, is going to, once things cool down, kind of, let him come back. But on the same time, Luke goes, this is the best time for me to just, again, get away. A lot has happened in the past 2 years. That was when Darth Caedus was around. And, I just need to get around, and I want to see what happened to Jacen. What made him turn evil? And Ben begs to go with him, so Luke lets him go with him. Now, meanwhile, there's another story that's not as exciting. I remember this, but I don't remember it being this boring. But Valen Horn is kind of, the Jedi want custody of him. The Galactic Alliance wants him frozen in carbonite, and they're fighting over custody of Valen. Now, Kenneth Hamner is going to take over the Jedi Order. I remember I thought this was a terrible idea. And of course it is later on, but at first I was like, why would they make him? He's a terrible one. But then now I see why. They needed someone like Kenneth Hamner to play the role of, the Jedi who's going to get in a hard situation and kind of lose the faith of the whole base of the Jedi. I get it now. And it was a good pick. It's a good pick. Kenneth Hamner made sense on paper because, he had a military career. He's familiar with the Galactic Alliance prior to becoming a Jedi, I believe is what they said a long time ago. So he seems to be a good middle-of-the-road Jedi that both people can respect. But at the same time, yes, of course he's not ready to be Jedi Master. And we'll find that out way later in the books. But anyway, well, when Ben and Luke go on this mission, they go to Keldor, and they kind of learn, what was it? Oh, this is how he can disappear from the Force. This is how Jacen learned how to disappear from the Force. And while they're there, they get captured and put into a underground world, which is their afterlife. The people are still alive, but they say they're dead, take on a new role, and then contemplate on the Force for the rest of their lives, even though their old life is dead now. But since Luke and Ben went that far into that realm with them, now they're dead too, and they can't leave. Well, Ben's trying to figure out a way to escape, while the whole time Luke goes, what's the purpose we're here? It's great dialogue between them. He's like, well, to find out about Jacen, but we got to get out of here. So he's like, we'll find out about Jacen first. And then once he finds out about Jacen, he goes, Ben's like, okay, now how are we going to get out of here? And Luke says again, what is number one priority, right now? And they see that the Keldor are living, the way they're living in this fake afterlife is the wrong way to live in the Force. And so they have to show them the error of their ways. And Luke keeps teaching Ben. Ben's just ready to go to the next adventure, which I'm for Ben, right? I'm like, let's get out of here now. Give me a lightsaber. Let's carve whoever we need to get out of here. But Luke's like, no, we still got another mission here first. So Luke's not in a hurry. He knows he has 10 years. I'm kidding. But Luke's not in a hurry, but he's also teaching Ben the importance of following the Force. And I like this because this is something that Obi-Wan would do. This is something that Qui-Gon would do. And by this point, everyone's seen the prequels, so they kind of know. But I like the serenity. I like the clear thinking that's going on with Luke. I like how Luke is explained here. And I like how Ben is. I can see both their points. Ben's young. He wants to get over it and, keep moving. And Luke wants to solve the issue at hand. That's just good stuff. Meanwhile, Han and Leia go to visit Lando. He's on the planet Kessel. He's trying to mine for spice, but he's finding a lot of big tremors going on, big earthquakes going on. And he finds out that Kessel is going to just explode in and of itself. But Han figures out a way to stop that from happening, and they do their little adventure to stop Kessel from blowing up. It's okay, but again, the Luke Ben story is the best story out of all these. That's the one I was most interested in. I will say this, though. I mean, talk about throwing in continuity. And I totally forgot about this. And because when I first read it, I didn't know who Merrick Steele was. He's in this. He's mentioned in this as an old retired TIE fighter pilot. That reference flew over my head the first time I read it because I was not familiar with the TIE fighter game, and I did not read the TIE fighter. So over here somewhere, the little help guide there about the Steel Chronicles was what it was. I'd never read that before. Well, now having read that, now having known that, seeing his name in Outcast was like, huh, look at that. There I got Farlander, so why not put Steel in there? I guess was Alston's thinking. Good one. It was a great continuity catch there, and I really enjoyed it. Overall, like I said, the Fate of the Jedi series, and when I remember these, I can't remember where I ranked it, but I know I ranked this as a top 10 one. Not as good as Legacy of the Force or New Jedi Order, but still enjoyable. And I can't wait to get to the second book next time.